Hello everyone, I'm Zelda. Today let's talk about positive and reverse thinking. First of all, I want to make it clear that this episode is not suitable for friends who are in a bad mental state. If you are not feeling good, watching this match make you doubt yourself even more. It's better to go eat something sweet, look at the mountain and the sea, and save this to watch when you are feeling better. Alright, before we delve into the boring knowledge to help organize our thoughts, let's play a little thinking game. Non-distance. Place a record. For example, in a situation where none of us know each other well, if I quote a line from Harry Potter and say, "Don't use marriage on muggles," what is your first reaction? Take 3 seconds to think about it. If your first reaction is "I am muggle," then you are a muggle. If your first reaction is "you are a muggle," then you are a wizard or have the potential to be one. If your first reaction is "we are all muggles and we are all wizards," then you are a god. If your first reaction is to think about using magic to make money, then you will definitely have a lot of way outs. If your first reaction is to think about the magic world's wonders, then you are a good dreamer. Please stick to your dreams. If your first reaction is there is no magic in this world, then you are definitely very pessimistic. Please immediately feel the magic word. If your brain didn't give you the answer you wanted in their 3 seconds, then your thinking is definitely lacking. Don't forget, I reminded you at the beginning that this is a game of positive and reverse thinking. As an adult who has been fighting in the workplace for many years, you should have the ability to immediately react to the essence of the problem when I say this sentence. In the current social situation, if you are a good capitalist and you tell me I am Marco, then you are using positive thinking. If you are an interesting capitalist and you tell me you are a Marco, then you are using reverse thinking. If you are a Marco and you tell me I am a Marco, then you are using positive thinking. If you are a wizard and you tell me I am a wizard, then you are using reverse thinking. If you are beyond the situation I mentioned, it means you have many other directions to explore. Why not listen to what I have to say? So, between positive thinking and reverse thinking, which one do you think is better? Of course, capitalists should use positive thinking. They don't want to think in reverse. Let's alone have you think in reverse. If you are a muggle and you follow someone else's positive thinking, you'll only make money if there's something fishy going on. So it's better for us to be wizards together. Use different thinking in different environments. If you feel like a muggle and can't become a wizard, then just work hard. Don't go against the grain and see why capitalists can think positive so openly. That's nothing their capital itself. Just plan how to live happily with the money you earn from your job. Don't borrow with thoughts that don't belong to you. Remember this term I mentioned, positive thinking against the grain. Its concept distinct from reverse thinking. If you can't distinguish between them, then just speak lies and do more. Observe how others speak artfully. If you also want to become a wizard, positive thinking is something that no one in our environment can be unaware of, because you'll definitely want more wealth. So reverse thinking becomes the forks in the road for whether we can become wizards. Next, let's talk about how to exercise our reserve thinking. Here, we first need to mention a best-selling college textbook book in the United States called Critical Thinking. This purely philosophical book, to be honest, I don't really recommend everyone to start it to touch, because how should I put it? From my personal point of view, don't get mad at me, it's just my personal opinion. Friends who read a lot of philosophical works can be divided into two types. One type is those who already have strong material conditions, which is what I just mentioned. Capitalists, they study philosophy in order to control others and develop their own life goals. The other type is quite bad. They go crazy reading philosophy, think they understand a lot and have seen through the essence of psychology. But when you ask them to find a job, they feel it's beneath their years of learning. They refuse to do physical work, and they can't handle mental work. All they can do all day is hold a pen and write their lofty ideas, but no one buys it. So they just write, tear it up, and write again. Basically, they are useless. They especially like to be called names similar to fallen aristocrats. So when I was not a very good mental state for a while, some friends told me to read more philosophy. I really wanted to laugh, but couldn't. Asking me to drown in theology, mysticism, and psychology is fine. But please don't let me drown in philosophy. You must treat the philosophical works as equals to theology, mysticism, and psychology, and don't dress them up in the cloak of realism. Alright, I've gone off topic. I can't talk anymore. I'll be silenced later. Anyway, you must read this book, Critical Thinking. It has been reprinted many times. But remember, if we are just workers or small entrepreneurs, treat it as a work to exercise basic think and fishing reading it without delving too deep. Another work is Forest of Mind by Sean Perez, a Canadian published 22 years ago. I just finished reading this book yesterday, which caused a delay in my submission. It relieved me of a lot of psychological pressure. You can clearly feel that this book's language is not too highbrow. It straightforwardly tells us that if a person wants to survive in society, earn more money, and have a richer life, they need to have at least 9 or more mental models. However, most people are not aware of the need to improve their cognitive level and thinking ability. The problem lies firstly in the perspective from which we view problems, which is the foundation of what I call reverse thinking. For example, as a worker, if I cannot think from the perspective of the boss, I am destined to remain a grassroots employee. But if I can think from the perspective of the boss and understand what value I can bring to the company and how much that value can be worth, then I can focus on the improving my relevant skills in the shortest time possible. These skills are not limited to computer or customer-facing skills. They encompass all aspects. As for which aspects to focus on, start with what you are best at. Everyone's development of reverse thinking has different use, and I don't want to confine you with mine. For example, I'm particularly good at boasting my boss's ego at the right time. which is to satisfy their self-esteem. Some people may think of this as flattery, damaging to one's dignity and causing colleagues to think, wow, this person is really similar. However, I have never said anything inappropriate to anyone, anywhere. Because we are in the channel, I want to say something that I want normal say to those people. Just understand this principle, but don't become anyone's mentor. They won't understand. Those people always have their own happiness. Don't wake them up. The question is, how much value do you think your dignity is worth? I am not belittling anyone. I just want you to calm down and think about it. From which social class were you born? How high did your parents raise you? What level of education did you receive? And what additional education have you given yourself? What level of social circle do you belong to? What is your true value? Have you even thought about it? For example, if my boss earns 300,000 a month and I make 8,000 for the work I do, if he's willing to chat more with me while I serve him tea, pour water, or buy coffee, what's there for me to feel inferior or embarrassed about? Chatting can lead to opportunities. Of course, if you want to do something like a personal assistant or a driver, you should ask for more money. If you don't speak up, your boss may think you are already satisfied with the 8,000 and may even feel like they are giving too much. So never avoid talking about money when it's necessary, and don't talk about it when it's not. Moreover, when you truly learn to respect everyone, not just your superiors, but everyone, you will find that in the world, although there are bad people, most successfully individuals and teams won't mind engaging with you on their matters. It's basic social instinct of big shots, an unconscious understanding of respect that comes from within. Respecting others is the ability to respect oneself. Some people, after you show them respect a couple of times, you can gauge the depths of their thinking. This brings up an important concept from the book called Circle of Competence. Why is it that when you show respect to someone, they seem unable, perceive it, and might even show some aggression? It's because their past experience have led them to temporarily protect their self-esteem. Once get past this period of self-esteem protection, you'll find that they are actually quite simple-minded individuals. Those people are definitely aware of what they can do within their circle of competence. That's why many major managers in companies have this kind of personality. If you are climbing from the grassroots to the middle management level, you must have some aggressiveness and the ability to respect others. But what about when you are at the middle management level or above? By then, you are already developed some rudimentary reverse thinking skills, but you certainly don't want to be limited to that. So at this point, first principles become important. What are first principles? It means that in every sentence, there exists a fundamental proposition that cannot be violated or deleted. Have you seen the TV series The Queen or News? The first principle there is news, no matter what. I have to get the highest rated news. Can you advance by relying on men? Yes. This question is actually related to what I just told about. This question is actually related to what I just talked about, particularly about being able to make the boss look good, which is essentially what people call sucking up, but it's actually a basic skills that reflects unconscious respect. However, no matter which way you continue to move forward, you must remember to grab the news, because this is the most basic preposition that cannot be violated or deleted. At this stage, you are pretty much honed your reverse thinking skills. You can go back to the game we played at the very beginning. Now you are a waste, but you don't know why your self-esteem is acting up. You are unwilling to admit your imitations, and you see everything as a nail because you have a hammer in your hand. As the decision marks, you make decision every day without having to bear the consequences. Until one day, you go to Paris and buy a Paris guidebook, only to find you can't understand it. So you have to buy another Paris guidebook. This sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? How could such a thing happen? It's only then that you suddenly remember you were originally just a marker who later became a wizard in a certain field. Then you understand again. Actually, a capitalist knows too well that you used to be just a wizard. He's using the two thinking models mentioned in the book, outcomes razor and handless razor, to distinguish you. There's two thinking modules. Simply put, are to simplify complex things and understand that there aren't as many bad people in the world as you think. Don't assume everything is malicious. That's the framework of thinking. Progress can be made onwards. Compatibility can be achieved downwards, with positive and reverse thinking each accounting for half. Understand what I should understand and progress when I can. You might say it's not as simple as I think, but I tell you, it's that simple. Don't make excuses for thinking factors you don't want to improve, and don't carry your arrogant self-esteem to the grave unless you are an old handle at capitalism. Then I'll accept whatever you say. Of course, what we're talking about here is just formwork of thinking in work. In personal life, there's no need formwork. Being happy is enough. When traveling, going whether I want is the most comfortable settle for me. But you should be clean. This doesn't affect you when accompanying leaders on trips. Make sure to buy and study the Paris guidebook or the Paris guidebook. Otherwise, you'll be pulled by your own thinking. Why bother? Alright, that's the end of our topic today. If anyone has more opinions or questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Goodbye. When chilling.